Hello folks and welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. Horrific news out of South Africa, where in Johannesburg Central Business District overnight a massive fire has caused the death of at least 73 residents living in what is termed to be a hijacked building. A building that has been taken over and rooms rented out to people illicitly. This is a serious concern in South Africa and elsewhere around the world, where people are occupying buildings that are not maintained and no longer controlled by those who are responsible for their upkeep. The Gauteng Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Elias Mawela, told the media that an inquest docket has been opened for investigation into the fire that broke out in the building in central Johannesburg. Now, a member of the city's mayoral committee, Mchini Chwaku, said that candles used for lighting inside the structure were a likely cause of this blaze. Chwaku said a lot of people might have been trapped inside when the fire started, and he added that many of the building may have been squatting illegally. Now, this is yet to be confirmed, but it is believed to be the case. Inside the building itself, there was a security gate which was locked so that people couldn't get out. And many of the people who died, their bodies were found near that gate. This Johannesburg fire now ranks as among the most deadly building fires in the past several years, alongside the Ibn al-Khatib hospital fire in Baghdad that killed 82 people back in 2021, and of course the infamous Grenville Tower fire in London's East Side in 2017, where 72 people died. In Paris in 2019, an arsonist was responsible for a fire that killed 10 people in an 8-story building. Now, outside of factories and prisons, nightclubs, and stadiums, places like that, where people can die in large numbers because they're gathered, it's rare that people die in apartment buildings in such numbers like this. In 2013, however, 233 people died at the Kiss nightclub in Brazil. And in 2012, 312 people died in a factory fire in Pakistan. Those are rare occurrences as well, but they happen. However, normally in residential and office buildings, you've got smoke alarms, regulations about material and exits, construction limits, and emergency responses. But we have seen in some labor factories around the world where employers will lock the doors or chain them so that people can't get out and continue to work, particularly in illegal factories. But in buildings like this, there are situations where simply people not being responsible. And the so-called hijacked building situation that we're talking about here in Johannesburg is a situation that is problematic. If a building is constructed by a company and they are responsible for the maintenance, those operating the building, then they maintain it. But when a building is abandoned or it's taken over by squatters, those people have no incentive to maintain the building and walk away from it. And of course, the squatters are not maintaining the building, and these structures degrade over time, particularly from overuse and incidents reportedly in this situation in Johannesburg of people actually cooking inside the building, in the hallways, setting fires to cook food because there was no electricity. So another victim of load shedding from Eskom? I don't know, but ridiculous behavior nonetheless. Once again, folks, a horrific fire in Johannesburg results in the death of at least 73 people overnight at the end of August 2023. Many firefighters said it's the worst thing they'd ever seen. Bodies piled up on the streets. Very frightening situation in South Africa. This comes on top of another disaster in Johannesburg just weeks ago when a gas explosion, now attributed to be a natural gas explosion, blew up a street in what people are now sardonically calling Diepsloot. Yeah, but it's Bree Street or Bray Street, and it's now being called sardonically Diepsloot. Yeah, these problems are a very serious issue, collapsing infrastructure, but this one can't be attributed, in my view, to collapsing infrastructure. It's most likely the cause of people living in a building they shouldn't be living in, and also reportedly illegitimate landlords renting places inside the building they don't even own. So one suspects that most of the people living there probably living not very strong means, don't have a lot of money. As a consequence, they wind up taking what they can get and people exploiting them. Anyway, we will find out, hopefully, from an investigation what happened here and prevent this from happening again. There are other towers, large towers in Johannesburg, where people live in the similar circumstances, and the last thing people want to see is more fatalities. Pretty horrific situation. And that's the news from South Africa on the 31st of August, 2023. 73 people confirmed dead and many others injured. Residents are being moved, those who survived from that building, being moved elsewhere by the city of Johannesburg at this hour as fire investigators take a look into this situation, how it occurred, and what it's all about. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment behind if you don't mind. Do appreciate your patronage of the program. Take care.